Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This video is about continuity of our lessons about simple past. Today we will study simple past of irregular verbs. Okay, let's get started. So a little review about what we studied earlier. So we all agreed that simple past of regular verbs have one form, all the regular verbs, verb plus ed. It doesn't matter which subject you use the verb with. I visited, we traveled, he invited, played, helped, etc. So this is the main conclusion we have to take into consideration when talking about regular verbs. Now, irregular verbs. Before we go into the lesson, let's start with reading. First of all, you have three texts here, three students. Look carefully at the text. What kind of text is this? And what do you think these three students are talking about? As always, you can pause the video. Once you get your answers ready, get back for the correction. Yes, you're right. So these are extracts from texts. What do you think the students are talking about? Yeah, they are talking about their yesterday activities. We don't know if it's weekend, it's yesterday activities. Okay, good. The next question now is, you can always do these true-false questions later on when you have enough time. And get back to the video for the correction again. Next question I want you to do is read these three extracts and underline the verbs in simple past. Okay, good. So here you are. Look carefully at the verbs we have in these three extracts. Get up, got up, go, went, take, took, eat, meet, met, see, saw, have, had, buy, bought, drive, drove, break, broke. Notice that tired, it is mentioned in this text, but it's in these extracts, it's not a verb. He says, I was tired. It's an adjective. So even if it has this ed form, it's not a verb. Okay, you have lots of adjectives that have the ed form, but they are not verbs. All right. So your first conclusion from these examples you have underlined in these extracts is that the simple past form of irregular verbs is different from regular verbs. So remember, in our previous lesson, we said regular verbs has this form, ed, but irregular verbs have different forms. Okay. The second conclusion, it's about spelling. Notice that each verb has a different spelling. Get up, got up, go, went, take, took, eat, ate, have, had, buy, bought, drive, drove, etc., etc. So this is the second conclusion. Irregular verbs have different past forms. They are different from regular verbs. So generally speaking, we can classify these verbs into families that look alike, right? If you look at these examples we have here, you will notice that some of them have the O, O-U-G-H-T, ought, E-W, A, and some of them do not change, and some of them are different, okay? So, in your textbooks, page 132, there is a long list of irregular verbs. You don't need to do all of these. Look at the list, choose the ones that we've studied this year. You will study more next year, and you will study the other ones in the second year baccalaureate. Okay? Try to classify these into these families. All right? So, once you do, you have a correction here. So, for example, the O, get, got, take, took, drive, drove. Notice that these have the same ending. You have the same spelling. Buy, bought, think, thought, bring, brought, know, knew, grow, grew, draw, drew, feel, felt, keep, kept, eat it. Notice here the pronunciation. Eat it. Swim, swum. Give, gave, ave, gave. And if you look carefully at this list, it's called the no change list because the verbs do not change. Put, put. Cat, cat. Cost, cost. So these do not change in simple past. And another list which is neither this nor the other ones. So it's different. It's called different. So have, had, be, was or were. Remember, the verb to be is an irregular verb. Find, found, go, went. All right. So let's move on now to the form. Let's start with the affirmative. Look at this example we have here. I went to the Regency cinema. He took the bus. She worked in the garden. They got up at 8 o'clock. So what is your conclusion? Right. Notice that in these affirmative form examples, we start with the subject, I, he, she, we, they, plus the verb in simple past form. So it doesn't matter, the subject doesn't matter if it is singular or plural or feminine or masculine, one form, okay? I went to the Regency, he went to the Regency, they went to the Regency, the same form. Isn't that cool? All right, now interrogative. Let's look at the interrogative, the questions. What time did they get up in the morning? Where did she work yesterday? Did he drive to work yesterday? Did you go to the cinema last night? So, look carefully at the questions. What is the conclusion? Yes, notice that the questions or the interrogative form sometimes starts with a WH question like here. What or where? What time or where? Or a direct question, a yes-no question. What time did they get? Where did he work? Did he drive? Did you go? So you always have did, the auxiliary, followed by the subject, followed by the verb in infinitive. Notice that the verbs here in questions do not change. Did you go, drive, work, get up? So the verb is always in infinitive. Why? Because you already have an auxiliary here. Now, negative. Look at this example. She worked in the garden. That's affirmative. Negative. She didn't work at home. She didn't work at home. Okay, look carefully at the form. Yes, it is subject followed by did not, and the verb is infinitive. Didn't work. She didn't work. He didn't work. He didn't go. I didn't go. We didn't go, etc. Okay, so negative is always subject. Again, in simple past, even in English, all the verbs in English, the subject doesn't matter, singular or plural, it's the same form. Did not or didn't, followed by verb in infinitive. All right, so let's move on now to practice. Our first practice, our first task is we have to go back to page 132, the list, and complete the list we have started classifying, okay? The next exercise on page 88, you have a dialogue. Some of these are affirmative, negative, interrogative. So complete this exercise with the verbs between brackets. Exercise 3. Now let's start with the dialogues, some communication. You have a dialogue here. You have an example. Let's read it. So what time did you go? What did you do last weekend? Sorry. I went to the museum. Who did you go with? With my brother. I went with my brother. What time did you go? We went at 4 o'clock. What did you see there? We saw beautiful painting. How did you like it? It was exciting. So this is a dialogue. These are some examples, student A and student B. With your brother or sister or even your parents, if they speak English, try to write a dialogue like this one, similar to this one or different, and practice it with one of your family members. If not, write it and practice it alone. Okay? The last exercise is writing. So in this task, you have to write a paragraph in the form of a biography about a dear person in your family, a person you love so much, an uncle, grandfather, grandmother. You can use these questions to help you, and you can use this example to help you. Say for example, I have many uncles, or I have many brothers and sisters, but my elder brother is the best person in my life. His name is, he was born in where, at the age he started school. After that, questions like when did he go to a university, primary school? When did he get or she get married? How did he or met his wife? When did he start his first job, etc. So questions about his life. So focus mainly about his past or her past life. Again, do your homework, okay, and send it to me on WhatsApp group or on Teams. And as always, practice makes perfect. Go back to the video, watch it many times, and then do your homework. Take care. Bye bye.